As the mainstream press bombarded Americans with the latest pandemic updates, telling us what we could do, who we could see, and even where we could go, behind the scenes, a sinister plan emerged. Buried on page 314 of a leaked document by Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, a scheme to enact enormous change to the appearance and value of our money, and possibly the complete and total destruction of our retail banking system. A change that could impact the savings of millions of Americans, especially those with over $5,000 in the bank. But then, hours later, the plan was quickly redacted, scrubbed from existence. What was it they did not want you to see? Today, Nick Giambruno, lead investigator for Casey Research, the international research firm that accurately predicted the American housing crash, the 9/11 attack 4 years in advance, and President Trump's surprise victory, reveals the full story. Nick will explain why Nancy Pelosi's dangerous new plan is passing through the Senate. A scheme backed by a handful of global elites, including the United Nations, the Clinton Foundation, the Federal Reserve, and the International Monetary Fund. A plan so radical, it seems hard to believe. Already, big banks like J.P. Morgan Chase, Citigroup, and Wells Fargo have started to implement it. And as you'll see, they have no choice in the matter. Major retailers like Starbucks, McDonald's, and Whole Foods, owned by Amazon's Jeff Bezos, are taking steps to prepare. And Visa has unveiled plans to help it all take effect within months. In today's expose, Giambruno will share exactly how you can sidestep this new financial money plan and even potentially grow your savings by 10 times or more. Most people think the solution here is going to be gold and silver, but sadly, that won't be enough. If you've got any money in a U.S. bank account or retirement plan, or if you simply collect a fixed income from the federal government, please pay close attention, because you are at risk. The entire financial system is on the verge of a shock unlike anything we've seen in decades. To most people, the world seems to be creeping back to normal. Beaches, gyms, restaurants, and offices are slowly opening up. Even schools and theme parks are coming back online. It seems like the faint heartbeat of our economy is thumping back to life, along with the stock market. But the world will soon be anything but normal. Since 1907, America has undergone 3 major financial shocks. The first led to the creation of the Federal Reserve, now considered by some to be a financial crime against the American people. The second shock snatched millions of dollars in savings under threat of prison time and enormous fines. And the last shock unleashed the disastrous money printing power of the central bank, which is now printing money $1 trillion at a time. And today, a fourth shock is upon us. Those who take the critical steps today to protect their wealth will survive and potentially even thrive. Those who don't will be decimated.
Hi, my name is Nick Giambruno. I'm the chief analyst for Casey Research, one of the most widely followed political and financial forecasters in the world. I'm coming to you today from a remote mountain bug-out location in rural Argentina. If the connection is poor, I apologize. But what I have to tell you today is so urgent, I needed to get it to you right now. Over the past 3 decades, we've been ahead of some of the most massive geopolitical shifts in history. From the fall of the Soviet Union, 9/11, to the surprising election of Donald Trump. And today, I have another massive shift to share with you. This one is not a prediction. It's playing out right now. As you'll see in the next few minutes, a new and astounding plan has been unleashed by the U.S. government with the full backing of some of the most powerful corporations in America. When this plan goes into effect, savings could be decimated. Privacy will be a thing of the past, and our way of life may be altered in ways we've never seen before. If you've got any money in a bank, credit union, or in a retirement plan, if you have cash tied up in business contracts, or if you simply collect a fixed income from the federal government, please Pay very close attention to what I'm about to share. At first, when you hear what's happening, you might be tempted to shrug it off, but that would be a mistake. Because, as you'll see, money as we know it could literally disappear. Today, for the first time, we're revealing the full details of what's happening and what it could mean for you in the months ahead. It all started innocently enough. It was 9:07 a.m. on a Monday morning. While most people were eating breakfast or watching yet another hysterical pandemic update on TV, a dangerous plan was hatched in our nation's capital. Then, as quick as it appeared, it vanished. What was it they didn't want you to see? Through my network of connections, I've found an unredacted copy, which I'll share with you today. And when you see what's inside, it might make you furious. But at least you won't be caught off guard when events take a turn for the worse. At the core of this plan is a $1.87 trillion scheme endorsed by the likes of the Clinton Foundation, the UN, the IMF, the Federal Reserve, and even Bill Gates. In fact, this troubling new patent from Microsoft will all but make this plan an instant reality. Dozens of U.S. corporations, banks, and powerful brokers are scrambling to prepare for what's coming next. Some, like McDonald's, Disney, Shake Shack, Starbucks, Whole Foods, Chick-fil-A, and Amazon's brick-and-mortar Go stores have already implemented the first step. Maybe you've already seen signs like this. Thanks to the COVID-19 panic, cash is becoming toxic. But simply saying no to cash is only the beginning. As I'll show you, major corporations from Microsoft to Visa have already introduced plans that will vaporize every last dollar. And just so you know, I'm not the only one who's caught on to the story. Billionaire Ray Dalio, one of the greatest financial minds today, recently suggested we're living through a once-in-a-100-year reshuffling of how the world works. And Bill Gates, who's playing a key role in this development, adds, when historians write the book on the COVID-19 pandemic, what we've lived through so far will probably take up only the first third or so. The bulk of the story will be what happens next. My research indicates we're about to see a huge shift in the months ahead. And if you take the right steps today, you could protect yourself and emerge on the other side wealthier than you could ever imagine. But if you don't take action, you could wake up to find your savings and retirement accounts have lost much of their value practically overnight. As you'll see, big financial shocks like this have happened 3 times before, each time with the same result. Back in 1907, for example, there was a major financial panic. That's when powerful bankers, led by J.P. Morgan, came together to quote unquote save the financial system. The elites used the panic as a cover in order to covertly pass dangerous new legislation. And today, the law they passed cost Americans 96% of their hard-earned dollars with the stroke of a pen. I'm talking about the Federal Reserve Act. On his deathbed in 1919, President Woodrow Wilson expressed deep regret for his role in the creation of the Federal Reserve. He said, "I am a most unhappy man. I have unwittingly ruined my country. No longer a government by free opinion, no longer a government by conviction and the vote of the majority, but a government by the opinion and duress of a small group of dominant men." In 1933, a quarter century after the first shock, it happened again. The stock market plummeted 80% and unemployment soared as construction and manufacturing ground to a halt. Once again, connected insiders rode to the rescue and used the crisis to their advantage. President Roosevelt signed an order under the guise of stimulating economic growth and lifting America out of the depths of the Great Depression. It was called the Emergency Banking Act of 1933. To the average man, it was seen as salvation. Yet, overnight, FDR's plan did something radically different. It allowed the Treasury